This is a series of films that tells the history of contemporary fashion photography as seen through the eyes of models. As your success within your family, because you have how many brothers and sisters? Nine brothers and sisters.
Away. Yeah,
okay.
5 girls.
Okay, so has your level of success and public recognition been a difficult thing within your family? Is it jealousy?
I think it was more of not being able to see each other as much.
Right.
Whereas in South Sudan we grew up really close.
Yeah.
You know, it's like literally my mother didn't have to think like getting a babysitter.
Yeah.
She could go off to the market and there's always somebody to look, either my older siblings or my aunt, or we all knew each other in the community.
Right.
Like if you didn't know, you know somebody that knows somebody.
Yeah.
So, and they were all like aunties, even they were not related to us. So it was like that. And then in London, things changed, not just because it's a different culture, but we're growing up too.
Sure.
And growing up in London is not the same as in South Sudan, where you live in the house until you get married, then you leave, and you get married very early. So it's completely different culture and all of that. So I think they were quite worried we're going to lose that bond.
Right, okay.
Because we're very close, you know, as sisters.
Yeah.
And we all have different personalities, you know. And I used to be quite a tomboy. I was still a girl, but my mom would be like, no. She wants you to be really girly. Yeah. And my dad is like, she's not doing anything wrong. He would just like wink at me, and I'm like, okay. And my mom is like, no, don't do that. Don't say that to her. I think at first, there's always those feelings you can't deny, you know, where they're like, oh, you know, and why is she allowed to just go off and do her thing? But what they didn't understand, and that's why communication is very important, because we all have jealousy, a little bit of jealousy, but to what extent? Because when it becomes this high, that's when it's dangerous, you know?
Financially, there's what you can earn as a model, you know, is out of proportion of what most people can earn.
Right.
I mean, it's the same thing in
but you help each other out.
It can be a destabilizing thing, because the amount of money that both you and I are sometimes privy to, it can be very, and I wondered if in your family coming, and I might be
I helped her, but at the same time, like the old saying, you got to be able to help yourself out first, take care of you, you know, because you have to think, and you're going to have your own family, and if you don't have something solid, and also to give somebody something and they didn't work for it, it's not a good thing. Even if they don't see it that way. So I did get into it at times with my other siblings, but I think it was great that I had mother there, where they would, you know, say some absurd and expect something so absurd, and then I would kind of sit there and look at mother, and mother will be like, okay, cut it out. You know, she's got mortgage to pay, she's running, you know, all over the place. She doesn't have us around her. She's on her own most of the time. You have no idea how much work it took for that, like you said, excuse me, sorry, that amount of time you're saying, you know, oh, you just earned something in one day. Well, you don't know how many
more
nights.
days you've got.
Exactly.
Exactly.
So I think anything that's new is very overwhelming.
Sure.
And some people have the gift to welcome it, and some people don't have that.
Change is always difficult.
Yeah.
Newness and change is...
And especially the older ones, because they were already, their ways were set growing up in South Sudan. So they found it really difficult to try and find that balance, still celebrate.
Did you come from an affluent family in South Sudan, or was it...
Looking back, we were very poor.
Right, okay.
We didn't have anything.
Right.
But we thought we were rich because, you know, my father worked in Board of Education. My mom was like totally, you know, I mean, she had a full-time job, 9 children. I think any mother, automatically, they have so much to do. I mean, raising children is...
Yeah, well, 9 children is a lot to raise in any society. You know, that's not cheap in anybody's view anywhere. No,
very challenging. And it's not a job that you clock out. I mean, it's like, you know, 24 hours. So I have tremendous amount of respect for her in that. And then also, it's good to have her, because it gives a balance of what, because there's always going to be dynamics, you know. It's whether it's somebody that became successful, became famous, or made money, or somebody that's moved out and started a family. There's always going to be a dynamic where it disperses this capsule, and some don't know how to deal with it.
For sure. Yeah.
And I think at the end of the day, it needs to take place in order for us to grow. And growth is very important. Even myself, I have grown so much. And that's why I said sometimes we're not quite sure if this is what we want, this is really the right way. But you have to ask yourself, do I enjoy this?
Yeah.
Is it fulfilling? You know.
And do you find modeling an addiction or a career or a challenge? How would you describe it?
I would say it's a career. It's a career that I've taken on, but it's a meaningful career I got to realize for myself.
Yeah.
It's not something that, I have to do it just because it's gonna pay my bills. Yeah. It's way beyond that. It's beautiful to be able to see a mother walking down, I have secondary school, primary school where I live, around that vicinity. And it's just amazing when, the kids are like, oh my gosh, you're that model. And then the parents are like, oh my God, you have no idea, just you modeling, how much it means. I keep telling my daughter, she's gorgeous. Yeah. And I'm like, and she's gorgeous and she should keep going to school because that's gorgeous. And we start cracking up. Yeah. So it has so many meanings to it. So it gives me a different incentive. Right. And that, I think, it's also a beautiful part of evolving as I model in moderation now. I don't, do all of the 10 shows in New York, London, Milan, Paris.
Why do you model in moderation? Is it because it's too demanding on that?
I paid my dues.
Okay.
I think I showed them that Dinka woman can be beautiful as well, and I can be a flush, and I can wear all the different looks, but I can fly in and do, appearances here and there.
I'm going to just change the picture just for a second, but I want to keep you roughly on the same subject. I just want to talk about this particular image here. So this is a runway shot.
Victoria's Secret. Yeah.
And you do Victoria's Secrets, which is a very, how should I put it? It can be seen as quite a sort of, we talked a little bit about page 3. It's not that it's like page 3 at all, but it's that same sort of slightly sexualized area of modeling. This is about underwear and that sort of thing. But you managed to make yourself look like an angel. So I have got big white wings to go with it as well.
I got some huge wings going on.
The lure of you in that picture is totally beautiful and angelic.
Thank you.
Which is kind of an interesting thing to do on a kind of Victoria's Secrets catwalk. So how do you feel about modeling for Victoria's Secrets?
I was very happy to be able to model again, like I was saying to you. Yeah. I mean, culturally, people are like, oh my God, that Victoria. One example, I went for the 50-year anniversary of Pirelli. Right. Where I saw you that evening. To cut the story short, I always order my breakfast from this lovely diner around the corner in Brooklyn. Okay. Megabytes. And it's a Greek family. Yeah. And there are 2 very handsome young fellas that work in there, and from time to time they never just give me my order, they always want to flirt a little. So I'm like, and then they read the newspaper, so they were writing about the 50th anniversary of Pirelli. And they were like, oh my God, we had no idea exactly what you did, because I don't walk into the diner with with the wings.
One morning you're gonna have to.
No, I'm more probably like, with my jeans and hat and my dog, and like give me my dynamite juice and my eggs, my lovely Irish breakfast. So he goes, oh my goodness, I did not know this is what you do for work. You work with Alexandra and Barasio. You are a big model. So it was really amazing. Oh my God, she's so beautiful. Those girls are very hot and they're very sexy. Yeah. So it's really amazing to be able to do Victoria's Secret, to let every young girl know that, you still can be beautiful. You don't have to just think you're beautiful because that's the only thing you see.
Yeah. Sure. You've managed to make a very sexy catwalk look completely ethereal and beautiful. It's just a different register. It's just quite interesting. And because I've worked with you, because I did Pirelli with you, as you said, so we've worked in the same sort of zone, you've gone together. But you do bring something very different to a photograph. And I wonder if you're aware of that. I wonder if you're aware, because culturally, because you're from Sudan, you move and you hold your hands, you hold your limbs in a very different way than a Western model would. So it's a very different, so you're giving off a very different sort of image when you're doing that. Which is, you know, for photographers, as I said earlier on, it's fascinating and a wonderful thing to photograph you.
Thank you.
Because it's sort of natural body poetry, if you want. And it's the way you manage to change things. So that outfit on another model could look quite different, give off many different things. But are you
I think it's very important to let women be,
uh-huh.
to let women feel comfortable how they feel, to let women own their own sexuality, instead of trying to tell them how to be.
But the best way to do that is to show them different versions of it, which is what you've done so well.
Right.
So
at the end, that's the only thing you can do. Is be the best. Like Mother has always said, you can only be the best as you can be. And that's the best you can be. So don't beat yourself down. Don't try. Don't pretend, because it's not going to go anywhere. You know.
You talk about your mother, and I hear your mother in a lot of what you talk about. Was she okay with you doing Victoria, or do you check with her first, or you check with her afterwards? My question is, was she okay with you doing Victoria's Secrets?
Oh, she was totally fine. Right. And she will be the first one to tell you, like how I raise my children. I know when they go out there, they're going to come across everything. And I know what kind of choices they will make. Good. So I know how they will handle and how they will carry themselves. And she will be the first one to tell you, like, you know, that is just exactly, she got it from me.
But so therefore, do you tell her before you do Victoria's Secrets or afterwards? Do you
no,
say,
I won't tell her before, no. She will really be like, what? What exactly? Victoria's Secret, and what are you wearing? Are they gonna put you in a thong? Are they gonna like make you, and I'm like, no, Mom, like, you know, it's not like that. No, I don't tell her, but again, like I said to you, she worries, because I think every mother worries, and that's the most amazing thing, because
they care.
You know, they care, and they don't want anything. That's like unconditional love, care, you know, concern, and all the.
That's the deal between the mother and the daughter, or the mother and the son.